You cannot be casual about safety at Telos. Safety is the most important part of your job. In terms of safety, you can't think it's management's job, or it's the therapist's job, or it's the maintenance department's job. Safety is your job, and every single person at Telos has to view it as such. Your first skill statement below says, I demonstrate safety in all my driving habits as detailed in the Telos van safety training. By following that link, you'll watch a 15-minute film that will teach you about safety in driving 15-passenger vans. Anybody who drives Telos vehicles must have completed the test on Telos van safety. Your second skill statement says, I treat Telos vehicles with respect, caring for them as if a valued friend owns them. This is just getting at the mentality that because I don't own it, I'm not going to treat it properly. We want you to keep them clean. We want you to not abuse them in how you drive them. Treat them with respect. Your third skill statement says, I never take students off campus without appropriate medications and medical supplies. In one program, a student who had diabetes was taken out on a camping trip, and the staff forgot to take his insulin shots. The student had a diabetic emergency and had to be taken to a hospital. Other students have gone off campus and the staff have forgotten to take the EpiPen, and they've had maybe a bee allergy or a food allergy. We cannot make these mistakes here at Telos. Before you ever leave campus with a student, always go to the nursing station and take the medical kit for that team. Your fourth skill statement says, I take medical complaints and injuries seriously, referring students to medical staff for assistance when needed. In one program, a student woke up in the middle of the night with stomach pains. The staff member didn't really take his complaint seriously and sent him back to bed, telling him to just tough it out. The student actually had a medical emergency that night because of some complications, and his life was in jeopardy. Please take students' medical concerns seriously and always consult with the medical staff when you hear them. Your fifth skill statement below says, I practice proper etiquette in dealing with student medical issues, always respecting their privacy and dignity. No disrespect about medical issues. Remember that students can be sensitive about what they're dealing with medically. This includes the medications that they're taking. Your sixth skill statement says, I respond to the signs and symptoms of suicidality as directed in the suicide prevention training. If you click on that link, it will take you to the training on HQ where you will go through the suicide prevention course and you will take the test. Your seventh skill statement says, I see the environment at Telos through the eyes of a suicidal student, reporting and resolving unnecessarily dangerous situations as they arise. What this means is, as you walk through the building, as you go on activities, as you watch the boys, you don't take chances. For example, say there's been some construction at Telos. You're walking through the parking lot and you see laying on the cement a razor blade. Don't walk by it thinking that somebody else will pick it up. It's your job to stop and pick it up. There's no way to eliminate every single means possible of suicide at Telos. Because of the nature of the type of program we are, we can't eliminate all means, but we can reduce means. So when you walk through Telos, when you're going on activities and when you're doing your job, view the program through the eyes of a suicidal student. Ask yourself the question, if I were trying to hurt myself, what might I do? And if you see means and access in your environment, do something about it. Your eighth skill statement says, I take efforts to prevent infection as directed in the infection prevention training. Click on that link and it'll take you to our HQ certification course on infection control. The ninth skill statement says, I can find and operate all of the gas, water, and electrical shutoff valves. Click on that link and you'll have instructions and photographs that show you where those are in the building. It's important to know how to shut off the gas, water, and electricity in case there was some kind of an emergency. Your 10th skill statement says, I provide students with safe camping and activity practices. Click on that link to see what those practices are. Review those practices before you take students on camping activities or off campus. Your 11th skill statement says, I actively monitor and assure students avoid sunburn and dehydration. This means when you go out in the hot sun, you need to take sunscreen, and you need to make sure the boys are well hydrated, taking water containers if needed. Your 12th skill statement says, I know and enforce all TLOS open water policies and procedures. Click on that link to see what those are. Your 13th skill statement says, I know and enforce all TLOS safe biking policies and procedures. Click on that link to read what those are. The last skill statement says, I demonstrate an ability to respond to an AWOL notice appropriately. What this means is if you notice a boy is missing and you're in the building, you first search. If he can't be found, then you report it to the staff and to the supervisors and to the residential director, and then you respond to the directions that you're given. If you're a staff member at home and you receive a text from the TLOS HQ system that a student is AWOL, you respond to the text by calling into the conference number listed. The more eyes we have and the more hands we have to help, the higher are the chances that we're going to be able to recover an AWOL student quickly. Remember, the most basic level is that you're able to respond to accidents when they happen. But the best staff, the staff who are leaders and the staff who will become leaders, are those who can prevent accidents from happening because they look for risk and take action.